My name is Lisa Lightning Bolt Holt. I have been vegan since 2001, and I became raw vegan in 2003 after going to a vegetarian festival. I found some brochures about raw food and I thought, this looks interesting, it's different, so I'm gonna do it. And so I initially was doing a high-fat gourmet raw diet, and after a couple years realized that wasn't quite working for me, and so then I transitioned into eating a cooked vegan diet for maybe about 2 years, and then found the low-fat, high-carb, and just been doing that ever since, and it's been working very well. I found initially when I went high fat, I felt really good, obviously, because of what I was coming from this standard American, you know, my family barbecues and does all kinds of cakes and sweets, and that's what I grew up with. But pretty early on as a teenager, I didn't connect with the way my family was killing animals because they're farmers, and so I decided that I wouldn't eat meat. And so once I made the connection that, oh, eating well and health is all actually connected, I found that eating the high carb, low fat way was what worked really well for me. It gave me a lot of energy. I just feel great, and I feel that I'm thriving. And when I was doing high fat, initially I felt like I was thriving, but after a while my body just became a little sluggish, and I didn't feel energized. I felt healthy, but I didn't feel energized, and I feel like that's the difference between eating a high carb version of the raw diet is the best for me. Well, some people get pretty scientific about it. I don't really get that scientific about it, but I have worked in gyms and, you know, as a personal trainer and doing my own training. And so even with working with other trainers and constantly hearing the, you know, high protein, blah, 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 I've learned that, you know, competing beside them in our classes and in our training, I effortlessly was doing better than them. So I thought, you know, what more proof do we need here? You know, we've got the people that are like, really like, get your protein in, get your protein in, and they're the ones that are just like flailing, you know? And so I say, you know, when people ask me, I show them my muscles, you know, and I'm like, do I look like I have a problem? You know, protein is not the problem. You know, we get adequate amount of protein. We don't need, you know, 100 and something grams of protein per day, and get it from your greens and you're good. I always was interested in sports, even as a kid, but my dad wouldn't let me play sports. I was a girl and he didn't want his little girl to get hurt. And so as an adult, it was my choice. So I said, I'm kind of one of those people that you give me a challenge, I'm gonna take it on. And when somebody tells me no, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it a yes. And so maybe my motives weren't the best initially, because it was more because Dad told me I couldn't. But after high school, I got into gymnastics because I'd always wanted to do gymnastics, and just slowly evolved. I went through a breakup some years back, and we had kind of this thing about he liked these Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition covers, and so he had cut out one and given to me, and I was like, I'm gonna show him I can look like this, you know. And so it was initially a challenge, and I hired a trainer, and I was like, I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life. And little did I know that after working with the trainer, I was really gonna like find passion in working out. And I realized after like a week or two wow, I really feel good. You know, after leaving the gym, I feel invigorated, I feel energized, and that wasn't really what I was thinking about. I was more going because I wanted to look a certain way. And so learning all the benefits and just the lessons that it taught me, you know, in my life, you know, just being consistent and finding when you're consistent, you reach your goals, and all those metaphors of fitness taught me more about my life. So I've continued to work in fitness because it's what's motivated me and helped me grow as a person in all aspects. So for me, it's more than just doing, you know, a fitness routine or lifting some weights. It's a metaphor for my life. Yeah. Right now I do a lot of HIIT, high intensity interval training, usually about 4 to 5 times a week. I'll do some interval circuits. I like to do some very intense spurts and followed by some more active rest recovery circuits, and then I'll do some, you know, steady state cardio, whether that's a spin bike or elliptical machine, or even taking, like we're here, I take a walk around the lake, you know, and as much as I can, I like to get outside. Sometimes it's not, you know, possible, but I do a little bit of weight training. I used to do a lot of weight training, but now I weight train maybe twice a week. Keep that incorporated into my routine, but that's not my focus anymore. So I do mostly HIIT training. Mid-November of last year, I did a 27-day water fast, and I initially decided to do that because I, for my whole, since puberty, had hormonal issues and just issues with my period, and I had heard from some other women that had fasted that it helped them, so I thought, you know, I'm gonna try this. What can it hurt, you know? So I've done 12 days in the past, so I thought, you know, what's another, week or so. So it was amazing. I did it on my own and was consulted by Doug Graham on a daily basis and felt really good. I, you know, just read a lot and kept myself busy. And honestly, it went by pretty quickly. Next thing I knew, I was like, wow, I fasted for 3 weeks and broke the fast with watermelon. And once I broke the fast, I realized that there was so much that I'd learned during that period of time. You learn what you're made of. You learn, you know, how your body, you become very sensitive to how your body works. And being an athlete, it was interesting to me. I'd come to a place where I was fine with whatever the outcome was. You know, I knew my strength would decrease during the fast. I knew that I would be getting smaller, and I was okay with that. I carried a lot of muscle on my frame before, so when the fast ended, I had a smaller frame, but my muscles filled in pretty quickly within, I'd say, about a month. I was still pretty weak. I remember forgetting that I'd fasted and someone asked me for help lifting something, and I remember just going in, being ready to like just lift, and I was like, oh, gotta build that strength again. So it took a couple of months to get my full strength back. And I feel really good. I feel my cardio really increased. So I feel like I wasn't as strong, but my cardiovascular, which was lacking before, just went through the roof. And so I've really been enjoying doing more cardiovascular work, focusing less on weight training, and just really kind of doing a 180 with that. And so it's really benefited me well, and I feel ready for a little tune-up because it's been, I guess, about 8 months now since my fast. But yeah, I feel great. I feel great. So I'm really happy with the results. Start anywhere. You know, it's like some women, you know, even in the classes this week, you know, some people came up to me and they're like, oh, I can't take your class because, you know, I'm not fit enough. And I was like, there's no such thing as fit enough. You know, you just come to class. The important thing is to move. You know, it's not that you have to be at a certain level. Like, we will find a level for you within this realm, you know. And if you're at home and you want to get moving, there's tons of videos on YouTube. Get on YouTube and find a beginner's workout. You know, it doesn't mean you have to step out of your comfort zone that you don't feel like you can do anything. There's always something, there's somewhere for people to start. I tell people, just start by getting off the couch, you know? Just get up and move your body, even if it's for 10 minutes a day. And you increase and get better so quickly, especially in the beginning of starting a fitness routine. The improvement, if you're consistent, is so fast. It's so fast. So I just tell people, just get up and move. Take a walk. I would say that we all come from different places. You know, we all come from different backgrounds, and I feel fortunate that my family was always supportive of me in whatever I wanted to do, but it was because I created that dynamic of, you know, this is what I'm going to do, so you're either with me or you're not, you know. And I feel like a lot of women especially have a hard time to stand up and say, like, this is me, you know. And if a lot more women would stand firm instead of trying to be submissive to their, you know, boyfriend or husband or whatever, find your voice, you know, because I think guys really respect a woman that has her own voice. And a lot of women don't realize that they don't have a voice. They think that's not part of their, you know, makeup. And it's like, no, find your own voice. And once you find your voice, you also start to find your passion. And when you find your passion, it really emanates through you. And you can see it when you see people, you know, women out there that don't have a voice, you don't see passion, you know. And so I challenge women to find their voice, and the passion will follow. And then, you know, it's like, off you go. If I could say something to the whole world, challenge yourself. I think that a lot of people don't challenge themselves. They stay comfortable. And I think that more people need to understand that there's amazing growth to be had in challenging yourself, learning how to feel a little bit of discomfort and find comfort in that. I have a Facebook page. It's under Lisa Lightning Bolt Holt. And I have a YouTube channel, which I'm slowly working on, trying to get more consistent about. That's The Effortless Life. And my Instagram is Effortless Living Now.